Happy birthday. Day.
I guess you're a Stevie Wonder fan.
Was that I didn't know. I just thought it was something Greg does.
No, it's Stevie Wonder's version.
I'm so bad about doing that. Like, I will not realize something is an actual singer's, and I'll be singing it. So it's like, oh, you're a fan. I'm like, oh, that's an actual song.
Hmm.
I did that with Big Booty Ho. That so listen. He was on Two Broke Girls, and I thought it was just I don't really listen to rap, so I didn't know. So I'd watched the episode, and I was just like, all I want for my birthday is that big booty hoe. And my mom heard me saying that. She's like, "Where'd you hear that from?" I'm like, "Oh, it's on Two Broke Girls. It's just something." She's like, "No, that's a Two Chainz song." I'm like, "How do you know what this is,
Your
mother?"
mom knew this song?
She did. I felt so embarrassed. I
Wow.
was like, "Man, maybe I'm the older one here."
Well, hi everybody. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. We're back to our regularly scheduled programming. You know,
Soaps.
it is now November 1st, so spooky season is sadly over. But today we are going back to the beach, Sunset Beach to be specific.
Where the sand falls under the moon as the sun glistens as the clouds roll in. I don't.
You're gonna do this every time we watch the show, aren't you?
Probably.
Even though they haven't done it on the actual show.
I haven't done it forever, yeah.
Well, this week we watched episodes 51 through 55, so we're getting through it, slow and steady.
Almost to 100.
So roll the credits and we'll get started.
Bum, 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 bum. I swear I'm not on anything. I haven't had any drinks. I'm just kind of hopped up.
Do you have a lot of sugar today? Halloween candy, maybe?
No, but I have had 3 Dr. Peppers.
That makes sense. So I guess we should talk about the smaller stories first and get them out of the way.
Well, how about we talk about the one that's really boring the hell out of me? Vanessa and Michael. I so badly wish their storyline was a little more fun.
Yeah, so Vanessa's kind of like annoyed with Michael because he won't talk to her about his past and she kind of pushed her away. But now he's kind of like, coming around again, being the nice Michael that we know.
Mm-hmm.
And he decides to let her in on a little secret, a big secret, actually. He brings her to, I guess, where he grew up or
Yeah, I
around
think
the
it's
neighborhood.
yeah,
Yeah. Which I think is South Central, he says.
I think so. Yes.
Um, and he introduces her to a woman and her 12-year-old son, James. I can't remember the mom's name,
I
but the
can't
son
either.
was
I just know
James.
Vanessa always. Why is it in soaps? As soon as a man and a woman or anyone hug each other, like they're only there for the hug, and then
Right.
they're gone. I love it.
um, and we find out that Michael has pretty much been playing like a big brother to James,
Mm-hmm.
hanging out with him, making sure that he stays, on a good path, doing his schoolwork, not joining a gang. Um, so this actress looks familiar.
Do you IMDb her?
No, 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 no. In the context of of the show,
Oh,
um, so I guess like it'll be like a little preview for you, and if I'm wrong, then sorry. But I think she sticks around for a little while, and I think she might be a little bit of a troublemaker.
ooh, I like her already.
Yeah. So, but right now she seems nice.
With Vanessa, it's interesting though because she's playing the part of a journalist, like really true. Like she sees a story. She doesn't see the
Mhm.
people. I feel like she sees the story that she
Yeah.
could tell of Michael and this boy.
Yes. So they get back to the house, which at first I didn't recognize because I got so used to it not being put together, like they were doing
I
construction on it,
know.
that I'm like, what house are they at? Because now there's like furniture and it's decorated a little bit. um, and he explains to her how he got involved in James's life. So apparently, Michael used to be in a gang, and that's how he knew that guy Jojo that Vanessa wrote the story about.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, when he was in the gang, he accidentally he shot somebody and killed them, and it ended up being James's father.
Wait, I thought he shot, but it didn't kill him. But JoJo finished him off. Am I wrong?
That's not what I. Oh, I
Are we
don't know.
watching the same show? No.
No.
Yours is probably right because for some reason this week to me there were two storylines that just did not appeal to me whatsoever, and it was Vanessa and Michael, and then Mark and Ray.
Casey and Ray, you mean?
Or Casey and Ray, yes. They were just kind of, you could tell the excitement was on the other characters. I feel like the writing wise, like they were having a lot of fun. They're like, oh crap, we need to put in some other people here to spread out the stuff. So let's just write in Mark and Vanessa. Or, damn it.
I didn't feel that way. I actually liked everybody's story.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, every time somebody came on screen, I was like, "Oh, hey, girl, oh, hey," and I was like, "Oh, it's nice to see them," because I felt like every day, like there was like a new character coming in that wasn't in the previous episode, so it was just like, "Oh, everyone's here this week."
Well, I was a little.
So yeah, I think what happened was he shot somebody, and Jojo told him to run, and that's when he said he like floated all the way to Sunset Beach on a surfboard. um, and apparently Jojo took the rap for him.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. I forgot about that part.
Which is what he was holding over Michael's head.
See, I really like Michael. I wish he'd kind of have a juicier storyline.
Yeah, but that was like his big reveal of the week of why. Yeah,
which we figured he probably killed someone because just based on how he kind of acted and based on JoJo.
Yeah, so that was pretty much it for them.
Yeah, they had a very small...
the other small story of the week was Tiffany and Spike.
Oh, I even forgot they were there. She was there, what, one episode?
Yeah, she was like coming out of the shower talking to Spike, and I was like, are we going to see Spike, or were we just supposed to imagine that she's talking to Spike? But it turns out Spike's loose in the house, and Gregory is having a sneezing fit because he's allergic to dogs. And he doesn't understand why he's sneezing because he doesn't know that Tiffany's staying there.
I thought it was funny.
But we actually did get to see Spike. I was like, oh, even he made an appearance this week.
How long is Tiffany on for? Because
I think she's on for 6 months, and then they recast her, and that one's only on for maybe a couple of months.
Okay, good. Maybe that's why she's not. I feel like they don't really know where to go with her story.
Which is, I don't know if she was fired from Sunset Beach or she left on her own, but I know that the same year is when she joined Bold and the Beautiful.
Okay.
So yeah, that was pretty much it. Oh, Olivia catches Tiffany looking for Spike with her wet hair, and she calls her a gold digger.
Which is interesting. Well, I say it's interesting. We find out Olivia kind of, in a sense, is a gold digger too. Then, because when she talks about trying to keep Gregory, so that's why she. Mm-hmm. That's the bigger reveal of the story.
Yeah. So Tiffany doesn't back down, though. When Sean tells her that Tiffany's staying there and he asks her to go back to the room and he'll have a talk with his mom about it, she kind of whispers to Olivia, I know you killed Dell.
I was like, ooh, girl, standing up to Olivia. I don't know if you're brave. Yeah, death wish.
And that kind of shakes Olivia. She's like, what is this little girl talking about?
That look in Olivia's eyes was like, she should have been like, if you think I killed Dell, then you better run, little girl. Because there won't be nothing to,
Olivia's like, I need a drink. So that was pretty much it for that story. That's the only time we saw Tiffany.
Tiffany was not there very much.
Mark didn't really have a story. He was just kind of like in the background all week. And I was just like, oh, I just saw you in Bride of Chucky looking good.
He was mainly just there to move the briefcase
Right.
and be a top two this week.
Yeah. So I guess the bigger story would be, Annie's still in hiding and on the run. They think most people think she's dead, except for Gregory and Eddie.
Okay, Annie is not subtle when it comes to anything. Why does she think she can run around Sunset Beach in just a hat and a little pop
Yeah.
jacket and not be seen?
Right.
Like she's running all. She's going to clubs.
Right.
She's just
So where we pick up with her actually is she had broken into Eddie's apartment, remember?
mhm.
And she was in
Got
his
those
dark
ones.
room where he has all those incriminating photos of everybody in town. And she had found her father's briefcase, and she busted it open to find the
Deschanel jewels.
Deschanel jewels. Thank you.
Deschanel.
Pronouncing.
The Deschanel.
So she takes the suitcase and then she starts running around town because she has to find Ben because she needs his help.
I feel like that suitcase should be heavier with all those jewels.
Right?
They're just like throwing it along.
So we also have Meg, who's kind of longing for Ben because she knows that he's SB, but he doesn't know that she's Dorothy.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And one thing I like about Ben, it's nice to see for once a beefcake. Like I'd classify Ben as he's in a soap world, he's supposed to be kind of like a beefcake type character. He's smart. Like he put things together in not months. We're so used to characters like Ethan Crane or Brady.
Yeah.
That it's weird to see somebody like, oh, why would Meg circle the briefcase? Eddie. Yeah. So I was like, oh, I did not expect him to put it together.
Oh, we'll come back to this. So the other smaller story was Ray and Casey, actually. So Monday's episode, or episode 51, was St. Patrick's Day in Sunset Beach.
Yes, and I do not like Casey's new hair.
He did have new hair, right? It was like more flat. It wasn't as...
Yes, I don't like it. Go back to spiky hair. I don't like it. I don't like it.
It kind of reminds me of like how Steve Sanders' hair was towards the end of 90210. Like he kind of flattened it.
Yeah, I was just like, ooh.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was like his new hairstyle or if that was just like his I just rolled out of bed hair. Like I wasn't sure.
Yeah, no, that was new hair because it lasted a few. It wasn't. I just rolled out of bed.
It didn't bother me either way. I was just like, oh, okay, that's different.
Oh, what bothered me? I mean, this is an Aaron Spelling show, and he's always big about when it comes to hair, right?
Yeah.
So, like, it's weird they would, like, I don't know, it just doesn't work.
Well, Ray seems very okay with flirting with him now on St. Patrick's Day.
I know, she did a nice little...
Yeah, I'm like, when did this happen?
I was like, what happened to the Ray I knew?
But every time she asks him about his family or his past, he gets defensive. So that kind of makes her pull back, which is not good because she's very, jumpy when it comes to that. She'll jump ship.
All right. If I would have been the guy that come in that was her fiance or promised to her, like,
Whaley.
Yeah, I would have been taking one look at Casey and be like, yeah, I'm just gonna go. I don't got a chance. Because Casey is so cute. Casey and Ray are so cute together.
I don't remember how it happened, but of course Casey ended up shirtless. And I was just like, that's
always.
And then he goes to bed and she doesn't want to be tempted. So she's like, oh, I'm going to stay up just in case the hospital calls because she's on call.
I'm like, girl, be tempted.
Are they still sharing a bedroom? I don't think they are, right?
Oh, I think they are. They haven't said they aren't. So
yeah. Maybe that's why she didn't go.
If he would have been tempting me, I'd be like, okay.
So then the next morning she's getting ready to go to work and she's like pretty much 1 foot out the door. And they're discussing, their nice evening with each other. And when they're going to have that moment again, I guess when they kiss. And I'm like, just kiss him goodbye. Just do it now. Why do we wait?
Two late 20-year-olds, late 20, early 30s. You both want it. Do it.
Yeah, like, how about now?
Yeah, be like, can you? I'll give you that kiss now.
Are you afraid that if you start, you're not gonna be able to stop? You're gonna miss work? Like,
I mean, would you be able to stop if it was Casey? You with Casey? No,
probably not.
no, because I know you. I'd be watching the blinds, going, that slut.
But I'm also responsible, so I'd be like, okay, okay, I have to go to work now for real this time, and then I would leave.
You stronger than I am. I'd be like, what's work?
We had to pay for the mortgage on this house.
Uh, well, they got 5 roommates. Just be like, sorry, rent's going up. I'm just kidding. That's not fair. I'm just kidding.
So then she leaves, and there's a knock at the door, and you know what I hate? That's such like a TV thing when there's a knock at the door and the person answering it thinks it's the person that lives there or that just left. Like, why would they knock? They would just walk right in. Like, I think Casey thought it was her. It was like, oh, you couldn't wait, huh? And then it was Whaley.
I know.
Like, why would
Yeah,
she knock on her own house?
unless she forgot her keys.
That is true.
But I don't. I mean, they didn't lock the door, so clearly, if I lived there, I'd check the door first.
It's such a TV
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. I don't like when they. It's like, oh yeah.
Um, so Whaley's not buying that they're married. He doesn't buy it
No,
one bit.
he
He
is
even
not.
questions
He's
Mark.
like,
So were you at their wedding? And he's like, Mark's like, no. And he's like, I didn't think so. So
well, who knows? It could have been a simple wedding. It could have been
I was
right there
thinking
on
that
the
too.
beach,
It was private
right there
wedding.
at sunset, as the sun came through, the sand as it dried through the rain. I really like to make it make no sense whenever I do that.
Uh-huh. I know.
Just, you know. It could have been a simple wedding right there on the beach. He could have been working, being a lifeguard, be like, here, I got to do my job, but let me watch, I'll get married too. Two birds, one stone. Whaley's thinking he knows everything. Be like, you don't know me.
So Ray kind of like reverts back to like a teenager whenever she sees Whaley, and she's like, she just wants to like make him happy, and it's just like, because apparently they've been friends since they were kids.
Yeah, but still, I'm just like,
I think he calls her his little Nini, which is baby. He means baby or something like
I
that.
was like, gag me with a spoon.
And then when Casey said it, she was like, I hate that name.
I was like, yeah, me too. Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty much their story. Nothing really like came of it, except Casey starting to get jealous and wondering if she might have real feelings for Whaley, and she's denying it, which we know in soaps means there might be some feelings.
There's
there.
probably something there.
Yeah. So to be continued with that. So we had Bet. I was so happy to see her. I just love it when I'm like watching it and I'm like, oh, I guess
And
she's not on.
she always just randomly pops up.
Right.
It's when you least expect it. You don't expect it.
So apparently she's staying at Annie's apartment,
Mm-hmm.
which technically Olivia owns because everything was left to Olivia in Dell's will. So Annie calls the apartment, Bet answers, and she tells her to come there because nobody's there. They have a nice little I love you too. And as soon as she hangs up, there's a knock at the door, and it's Gregory, who also doesn't buy that Annie's dead. So he's like snooping around trying to see if Annie's there. And he's the one that reminds her that Olivia owns the property and that they're probably going to sell it because the value is so high, the mortgage is high. It's pretty much vacant. So, okay. I guess he wanted a payment from Bet for the mortgage or whatever, or the taxes, whatever, on the property. And he said, make it out to Olivia. She's like, how do you spell slut? One T's or two? And I was like, what?
That's how you know they're real good friends.
I was like, I thought that was one of your best friends. How do you spell slut? One T or two?
I mean, come on, we all have that friend.
I love her. She has the best line.
I do too. I would, yeah.
So then they meet up and, they have the whole, I can't believe you slept with Lane's son. And then we kind of get more insight onto what happens between them.
Finally, it's only taken 50 episodes. Well, I mean, I guess they didn't really start off with it, so yeah. But still, it's been a good 6 weeks.
Yeah, I
No,
mean it's only March, so 10 weeks maybe
yeah,
since it started.
yeah. We
um,
learned that
so Elaine was pregnant by AJ, um,
AJ,
who is Armando Deschanel's
mhm,
son and is Cole's father.
and we know Olivia was paid to take her break a little early.
Yeah, Olivia apparently was a nurse.
I know. I was like, ooh, look at them giving her a rich backstory. Like she was, she was a nurse. I mean, I don't really see. No offense. She doesn't look like the healing type. Caring for
Fair.
others does not seem like something Olivia would do. So maybe that was a career she got out of real fast.
Well, she probably got out of it. Okay, so Dell apparently paid her
Okay,
to
I
take her
like
break
that.
early.
I mean, maybe back then. Well, I guess back then 10,000 may have been a lot. But I was like, girl, you did that for 10,000. Sure, need a little more.
Well, it was the we're in the 90s now in the show, and you gotta figure the kids can't be older than 25, so it was probably the 70s when it
Mhm.
happened.
Yeah, so that's probably a good amount. We
Um,
missed out.
so Dell paid her to take her break early, and he stole the baby. And I
Mhm.
guess Elaine was told the baby died because she thinks the baby's dead.
Yes, and Bet's husband was the doctor that.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So Bet is, you know,
On husband number 7.
yeah, husband number 7, and they're playing, the blame game, and
I
that's
wish
when
they
we
would.
find out.
I wish they
That,
would do a line where it's like Elaine would or Bet would be like, the reason we have that law where you can't get married so many more times is because of me and my husbands. Yeah. But
so we find out that it was Elaine's first husband at the time, and
mhm,
he was the doctor that delivered the baby, and that this guy made a deal with Dell for this to happen. So in a roundabout way, Bet knew, but she didn't know. She kind of found out after the fact, and she said he was my husband. She was like, I was gonna let him go to jail for this. So that's
well, as
their
soon as you
involvement.
divorced him, though, he wasn't your husband no more. Um,
So that was a big reveal.
I'm. I feel like he kidnapped the baby to get the jewels. Like maybe he got the jewel. Like I feel like the grandpa Deschanel
Hmm.
probably said, I'll give you the jewels if you give me you get the baby for me.
Yeah, maybe it was like a status thing. Maybe he didn't like Lane. Maybe she was poor, and
Yeah,
he just like
that
can't
I feel like something's going on those lines of
like
things.
like an Alistair Crane from Passions kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. Which funny, Dale played Alistair
Oh
Crane,
yeah.
but like that the man whoever Cole is talking to, I feel like probably
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I'm like, could he be talking to AJ? Even though we're supposed to think AJ is dead at this point. Because
I
remember, they
think
were all.
I think AJ's dead, but I think the grandpa that's in the photo or whoever
Is
is not
alive.
dead. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I guess we'll find out. Um, so Cole and Caitlin have a reconciliation. Um,
Okay, they're growing on me. They kind of cute.
I like them. I've always liked them. Even though I came in on them during the recast Caitlin, but still, I just like them. My one issue is we're only in March. They did not meet in the first few weeks of the show. They've been broken up for a few weeks, and we're already
Maybe
saying, "I love you. I've always loved you." What? It's been like 7 weeks, and you broke up.
maybe they're on a gay men timeline.
But you know what? The show was only on for 3 years, so if you got to put as much content as you can in, just give it all to us. Like,
It's one of those. It's one of those Teresa Lopez Fitzgerald moments where she just knew she loved him.
okay, and I feel like Teresa might be one of the roots of why I had, bad relationships for most of my life.
Oh, definitely. and Sammy Brady. Because yeah, very much. If you look at my
They were our role models.
yeah, it's funny we ended up where we're at with such great role models like that.
um, where was I going with this? Yeah, so that kind of like took me out of it, but they're cute. I like them.
Mhm.
So they make plans to go to their spot, the grotto. But Cole gets a phone call from Olivia, who's drinking, obviously, and needs to see him. So he's like, go to the grotto, I'll meet you. And he's like, I got something to do, but I'll meet you afterwards. I was like, what are you gonna do? Fuck her mother and then go meet her in the grotto? Like, because you know that's what Olivia wants.
You're not wrong. But I mean, if you were Olivia, wouldn't you want that too?
Yes.
I mean, who wouldn't want a piece of coal? Well, coal two, not coal one.
What was the famous line I used to quote in the beginning that you always loved when she was in the shower? No, no one's hands or no one's touch is as cold as yours.
Oh,
Love her.
I, mean, I thought the same thing too when I was watching. I was like, oh, role model.
I was like, yeah, this is my attraction to toxic characters.
I know we love toxic women, which lead us to toxic men, which very much like them.
She's also been drinking a lot because, Gregory pretty much shut her down. She wants to work on their relationship, get back to where they were, but he just cannot get over the fact that she had an affair with Dell. I'm sure he's had affairs.
I mean, oh God, maybe this is me judging a book by the cover. He looks like he would have an affair.
Yes.
I don't know. He just does. And I know he probably will, but I could see him having like an Annie on the side.
Right. I don't know anything, but I think he might marry Annie at some point.
My favorite part about that was how you kind of whispered it.
Like, you hear a secret?
I think Annie and
yeah.
Annie's
Because I think I read on something, Wikipedia or IMDb, and I think she had his last name.
Oh. I mean, in their wedding vows, was it, I promise not to accuse you of murder or try to frame you for murder ever again?
Unless she marries Sean. I don't know.
No, I feel like she probably marries him. I could see it.
Yeah. But it might be like a marriage of convenience or something.
Oh, I bet, or some kind of money or something.
I'm cool with it if it's drama. Okay, so we got more Gabby.
She's finally getting a storyline.
Right.
It's like, ooh, that someone turned the heat up in her.
I know that she's more prominent in the later years, but right now she just feels like an afterthought. She wasn't even on for the first month of the show, and when she is on, she's just kind of floating in the background.
Yeah, they made us think she really just wanted Ricardo at first, but then it's the big reveal that wasn't a big reveal if you watch soaps is that's her sister.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they kind of favor they did a good job casting those two because they do kind of like
they do, yeah. I
feel
was
like
thinking about that
because I remember like when we first started about watching the show, I was like, oh, this must be Paula's sister.
Mm-hmm. When you said it, I was just like, I knew, but I was just like,
they just had like look. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, so there's a couple of interactions. Gabby comes, she's kind of spying on Ricardo and Paula, which I'm like, okay, weirdo, they're like about to have sex. Stop.
What made me giggle was when Paula though was like, "How can this be? How can you be my sister?" I'm paraphrasing. How can you be my sister? I'm like, your daddy left you, girl. And you're wondering what,
So we're kind of led to believe because they keep showing flashbacks of Ricardo and Gabby kissing the night that Paula was kidnapped by Eddie. So But we're led to believe that Gabby is gonna spill the beans on that because they keep showing us flashbacks.
Okay, I don't for 1 minute believe that Gabby did not know that Paula and Ricardo were together.
Yeah.
Because if I went to find my hidden or secret sibling that I did not know about, I would do all kinds of research.
Mm-hmm. Um, so that was a big reveal. There was a lot of like big moments this week.
Yeah,
Well,
it's weird how some of the storylines were really just like packed, like boom, 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 and then some were more subtle,
mm-hmm.
which I guess is why I'm saying I was kind of bored with the Michael, Vanessa, Casey, and Ray, was because the other storylines were so interesting that I couldn't wait for it to switch back over to them.
Yeah. So Eddie finds out that
Oh God, fuck Eddie.
Ben and Meg have the suitcase, the briefcase, with the jewels in it, and Ben is not there in the office, but he goes up and finds Meg, and we find that he kidnaps Meg.
Okay, Sunset Beach fans. When am I supposed to start liking this guy? I've been promised I'm going to start liking him, and now he went after my Meg, went after my Susan Ward.
Okay, I thought that too, and then I was also thinking when they were on the beach and he had her at gunpoint, I'm like, okay, so we're just not hiding the fact that Eddie's a bad guy now.
Yeah,
Like we're just
he is
gonna
a cop running around the beach
yeah.
with a hostage and a gun.
So when Ben comes, you're gonna get your jewels. He's gonna get his jewels. You're gonna get Meg, and you're just not supposed to report to the police that a member of their force had you at gunpoint for
Yeah.
jewels, which is all actually evidence in a murder. Oh, that was another thing that was revealed. That Eddie was hired. Well, I think that was revealed last time we watched it, but they kind of expanded on
I
it.
think that
He was
yeah,
hired to kill Dell, but he didn't do it. I think
because
this week
it
we found
was
out he's like, but I didn't do it.
Eddie was hired to kill Dell and then frame Annie, which I think that was the new information we found out.
Yes. Also, your boyfriend Tim was floating around a little bit.
I know, give him a storyline. He is too pretty to be a side character.
He'll have story.
Better because
he's worried about Meg, which was cute. He just wants her to be safe.
I know it's kind of just like it's one of those moments where you're like, if you would have worried about her a few years ago,
instead of sleeping with her maid
of honor or whatever, you might still have her. Funny how those things happen. It's funny how sleeping with your fiance's maid of honor might make her want to leave. Goodness.
And that was pretty much the week. I think the week ended with Eddie and Meg on the beach at gunpoint.
I feel like, though, episode 54 was a Friday because 55, when it started, it did like that kind of, not a recap, but where they redid.
They played the last scene.
Yeah, or where they kind of started there and expanded and it's like, oh, here, let's catch up what you may have missed.
There were also a couple of weird editing moments, like where they went to commercial and then when they came back, it was like weirdly edited. Like I think one of them was like they made it sound like they made it look like Paula and Gabby had already had a conversation. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah.
It was about like where they were going to get married. She's dealing with her PTSD when she sees the wedding dress.
Which I'm actually shocked they went there because a lot of times we forget things like that. Like they'll keep a Carly Manning buried alive for weeks, and she comes out of that box. I'm happy. Let's run off together and get married after she gets her memory back.
Yeah, that was weird.
I'm exaggerating on what actually happened, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I really liked this week. If we're grading it, I would give it like an 8.
I was thinking an 8 as well.
I was like, well, I want to keep watching.
I forget when I watch it that it's like a daytime soap. Yeah. It still has a different feel to it, which I like.
And I know we've said this, but I also think the quality of the video that we're watching, even though it's a 90s show, it's clear. It's not like pixelated. And
Yeah,
so that also kind of ups the level of enjoyment for me.
I would like. Could you imagine if this show was still on and with all the budget cuts and that the beach would probably be just one little sand pit, like when they go to the lake on Days of Our Lives, a picnic table
Right.
next of it,
Uh-huh.
and you're just like they'll run back from the water. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the beach on Sunset Beach today?
Like they do with the lake on days. They just
Yeah,
come back wet.
you're like,
You hear
yeah,
splash.
yeah. I hear a little.
I wonder what they used to do on days when they used to have the docks all the time. Because you
Mhm.
would see the water. I wonder if
Yeah,
that was like a pool or something, and they would just dive into it.
probably. Yeah,
But yeah, it was another
it's a good
exciting
week.
week on Sunset Beach. Um, I'm looking forward to watching more.
As am I.
Um, do you have any other comments on what happened? I was
No,
actually surprised that they showed the picture of Armando again, because that's actually a picture of the original Cole.
I know. I'm shocked they didn't redo that.
I was
For,
thinking that too. I was like, oh, I guess we'll never see that picture again since it's a different actor. And then they showed it, and I was like,
but
oh,
I guess since you can't really see his face
yeah,
as much,
I
they're
guess
probably
so.
just like. So
I
yeah,
wonder if
no,
they
it's
had to
good.
pay. I wonder if they had to pay him to use his
Could you
like
imagine having to pay
likeness,
someone to use a photo where you can't even see your image?
right?
You're getting paid for being a shadow.
um, there was a little exchange with Mark, about the whole SB Dorothy thing,
Hmm.
where Meg says that she fell in love with SB without even knowing him. He's like, so you want Ben to fall in love with you without knowing that you're Dorothy? And she's like, yeah. Also, there seems to be a mild flirtation going on between Caitlyn and Nick Stable's character,
Mark.
Mark. Like, I feel like last time we watched and this time we've had the scenes where she's sitting at the bar and they have like this like little
Did you say
flirtation going on.
Gabby?
Caitlyn.
Oh, Caitlin. See, I for some reason, if I was writing this show, I would see what Mark and Gabby could do together.
Hmm.
Because he seems a little like reserved a little bit, but wants to be adventurous. But Gabby is very much like I could see Gabby bringing out a side of him that he wasn't aware he had.
We need more backstory on him. All we know is that he was also a runaway
Hmm.
and that Ben gave him like a job. That's all we know about him. We need more backstory. Why did you run away? Were you in an abusive household? Were you molested? Like, I need to know what's happening.
I think it's interesting when they put characters together you wouldn't necessarily put together, and something comes out of it. You're just like, oh wow, that's so awesome. Like,
Yeah.
just
Well, if you don't have anything else to say, I guess we can wrap this up. As always, you can find us on all the socials at Queers and
all of them.
Soaps. What?
I would say all of them,
All of
all the
them.
social medias, all well, not all of
Just
them.
type Queers and Soaps, will come up.
The major social medias we on.
And until next time, have a great night, guys. Bye.
Hi.